Hey guys, welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Photo Poetry Podcast with me, your boy, P. Smith. It's exciting times. I do apologize for being away for such a long time, but in case you missed some of my previous episodes, you can find the links below. The last episode that I was speaking about, I was speaking with Kala and Makumbe, and we were discussing poetry outside the borders of Zimbabwe, specifically in Zimbabwe. It's an interesting episode. I'd advise you to look for that one. In this particular week, I am excited. I have exciting news that I want to be announcing to you, and it's just exciting times of my life right now, and particularly within the past 5 years of my life, I've just been working, putting in the hours. It's just been exciting. It's also been hectic, and I'm just glad to be finally at this stage in my life where I have to be announcing a very huge project, of my life, something which I am truly passionate about. So let's just get right into it. If you haven't subscribed, I would advise you to subscribe. There's gonna be links to the social media and more information. Much of it is gonna be dropped onto my website, which is P. Smith Aesthetics on Pixieset. Let's get into today's episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about a book which I'm going to be launching on January 25th. One of the many books which I'm going to be launching on January 25th. Do not be misled, which is entitled Deflowered. In this week, we're talking about Deflowered, which is a poetry anthology that I started writing about 5 years ago during the beginning of 2019. It is a follow-up to two previously published books, namely Curtains, which is a poetry anthology, and These Things Also Happened to Me, which is a play. It came about as I was just starting in college. You might be wondering to yourself, why the choice of the title Deflowered? Of all the choices in the world that one could come up with, why go for Deflowered? Here's why. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that in this book, I was trying to account for the massive defloration that I experienced as I got introduced into the world of university life. Although there's nothing wrong with this natural human experience, it came as a cultural shock to me, being a small boy from a small town, Chitungwiza specifically. Henceforth, it is unsurprising that I found it as befitting as a title, serving as a gateway from the transition that I experienced from being a teenager into a young adult. The choice of this title also comes as an indicator to the defloration, the massive defloration that I personally experienced being a virgin back then, as I later on discovered that a lot about myself had to change once I came into college, from the way that I dressed to the way that I saw my faith, and even the type of people that I associated with, not to mention the types of conversations that I was now engaging in. I took this to symbolize defloration. So do not be dismayed if you thought this is going to be an erotica type of poetry. Although I cannot be making any promises, this is one book that, in my personal opinion, I think is highly psychological. Arranged into four main themes, I clarify in my writing of this book by dividing them into partitions focused on faith, also known as religion, politics, love, and sexuality, emotion, and the last part being abstract poetry, where I allow you to let loose and let your imagination run wild. I therefore invite you into this book because it is the perfect daily companion for any or whatever emotion you may have at any particular time. The book will challenge your perspective of faith and religion, as I question who God is, what religion is, and I also seek to discover who I am in the eyes of my own God, whoever your own deity is. One such title that I would expect you to read with regards to this faith is the poem which is entitled The Faith Boulevard. On love, I am also grappling with my own insecurities. For example, there are poems whose titles include Nzwisisa kuti ndakahura asi ndakahura mbichana and Wadiwa Mai Chisamba, to mention but a few. I dare you, in fact, I double dare you to not read these two poems. I also touch base on the political front with titles such as Zimbabwe Stockholm, A Day in Buckingham Palace, and Kwaunoenda Usiku. These are jabs at my own political understandings. I will at this point in juncture make sure to mention that I am no authority figure when it comes to politics. So whatever it is that I mention in these pieces, I entirely advise you to take it with a pinch of salt. As I hope to find answers personally, it goes without mention that in Zimbabwe, you cannot poke the political atmosphere without receiving your own fair share of interrogations and threats. So in this book, I try as much as possible to be as subtle as I can. The other part of the book, which I would like to think of as the anti-climax, is now abstract. Here, I question the existence of life, the meaning thereof, and the importance thereafter. I speak on things in nature. I speak on the extraterrestrial, and I also try and speak on things not even I understand. Here, I allow for the creative genius in me to roam free and be limitless in how far I can go and how much I can say. One such poem that I would advise you, which I find to be wholesome, is the fuck poem. Yes, you heard right. The fuck poem. I tell you, it's gonna be an interesting read. In closing, here's what I want you to take away from this book. It is nothing too serious. Approach it the same way that you would approach your second cousin and not your crush. It has more than 200 poems, carefully curated in such a manner that no matter what mood you are in, there is always a poem for you to get you through it. Please find the download links for these pieces, for these books. I've already put them up on Amazon for pre-order and for downloads, and you can be able to purchase them on Amazon. I'm going to leave the links onto the show notes below. And it has been an exciting journey for me writing these books. I just can't wait to share my story with you. And at this point now, I'm expecting you to hit the like and subscribe button, because I've just been talking to you and it's exciting, and you can tell, you can feel the joy and the excitement that comes from just me speaking about this book. And I can't wait for you to have your hands onto this book. The launch is gonna be on the 25th of January. I am calling it The Human Experience, where I am just documenting the past 5 years of my life, be it in poetry, be it in my EP, which is coming, be it in my photography exhibition, and the short stories which I am publishing in the books. So it's gonna be exciting, guys. My name is P. Smith. I am signing out, and like I always say, remember to annihilate the status quo, and also remember the perception of reality is more real than reality itself. Until we meet again next time. Ciao. Yeah, that's one episode done.